the JD Byrider, car number 20, Danny Lasowski. And Lasowski, not only quick time tonight, but overall quick time for the entire Mopar Parts Knoxville Nationals. That's worth $1,000, and we'll send it downstairs to Mike Roberts to talk to the dude.
Well, Danny, some skepticism this week, whether you be racing or not. Hot lap last night, you announced you are racing, and you're definitely racing fastest time tonight. Well, I tell you, it goes to my crew. Jimmy Carr and all my guys on this JD Byrider crew did a great job. The car feels really good now. When we get around cars, we'll see how I feel. But last night, hot lapping, it felt really great, and so far tonight, I feel great. Everything building up for this week. Adrenaline has to take care of itself as well. Hey, there's only one big one, and we're at it. All right, sounds good. Congratulations, Danny. Thank you much. Ladies and gentlemen, again, give it up to see the quick time tonight, Danny the Dude Lasowski.
It's on hand, going to give it a shot here tonight as we get set to go. As we get set to go for 8 laps, I believe the top 8 cars are transferring on. As we are going to transfer all these cars now racing for position in the C main, as this is how they'll line up according to their finish in this event. And down the back straightaway, Ryan Jamieson on the high side of the speedway. Bruce Romanov challenging down to the bottom. Flying Ryan, going to bring him off turn 4. Come down the front stretch, he'll lead lap number 1 as Ryan Jamieson, currently your leader in the last chance heat. Bruce Romanov running in the 2nd spot. Wayne Majeski runs 3rd, Stephen King 4th. Now Troy Meyer up to challenge King for the 4th position as Troy Meyer now gets to the inside. And Meyer now running the bottom of the speedway. We see his brakes glowing already in turn 1 and 2. Meyer now slides up high to block King. Down the back stretch through turns 3 and 4 continues to be Ryan Jamieson, Bruce Romanov, Wayne Majeski, Troy Meyer, and Steve King. Now King gets around the outside of Troy Meyer. And meanwhile, Wayne Majeski from Wisconsin. Wayne Majeski trying to run down Bruce Romanov. And Romanov now gets the car sideways, allows Wayne Majeski around the high side of the speedway. Now they go wheel to wheel down the back stretch. Majeski on the high side of the orange car. Romanov on the bottom of the blue car. Now Steve King in another orange car comes up, joins the fray for the 2nd spot as Steve King now follows Wayne Majeski into turn number 1. As Bruce Romanov staying on the bottom of the speedway. Well, flying Ryan Jamieson leaving him behind here tonight as he's got about a straightaway lead over the 2nd place car of Wayne Majeski. As Jamieson now with the straightaway lead over the 2nd place car, as we said, Wayne Majeski, Steve King running 3rd, Bruce Romanov 4th, Troy Meyer in the top 5. Now white flag is out. But one more lap around for Ryan Jamieson. Jamieson now takes the high side to put a lap on the 4KS car. Chris Spitz, he'll come down, take the checkered flag. Ryan Jamieson, your first winner of the night in our last chance heat.
Yellow lights are off. Getting set to go, Dean Jacobs driving Howie Gleason's car number 21G, bringing him around to the white line in turn number 4. Your first heat race on night number 2 of the Mopar Parts Knoxville Nationals, green flag. Down into turn number 1, Howie Gleason shows the way. Todd Hepner on the high side. Kim Mock now in the 3rd position. Larry Pinniger in your 4th and final transfer. Randy Anderson running 5th in your field working through the turn. Todd Hepner now closing in on your leader in turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, Danny Lasowski still not in a transfer position. Craig Kinzer and Mark Kinzer rounding out the field. Your race up front. You've got a new leader. Todd Hepner now showing the way, going into 1 and 2, but look at Dean Jacobs charging back on the bottom side. Kip Mock still running 3rd. Larry Pinniger 4th. Randy Anderson 5th. Now your race for 6th. Danny Lasowski up in the number 6 position. Danny Lasowski running 6th. PJ Chesson, Mark Kinzer, Craig Kinzer, and Jim Cameron rounding out the field. Danny Lasowski now moves around Randy Anderson in turn 3 and 4. Anderson up on the high side, Lasowski down low. down the front chute. Lasowski works by the stripe in the number 5 position. Still one spot out of transfer. Down the back straightaway, Lasowski takes a look at Larry Pinniger going into turn 3. Goes to the bottom side, slide job, goes clear to the high side of the racetrack. Takes over the 4th and final transfer. Down the back straightaway, Todd Hepner showing the way. Kim Mock running 2nd. Dean Jacobs running 3rd. Danny Lasowski running 4th. Now your battle in 5th. Side by side racing off turn 4. Randy Anderson with the advantage off the cushion. Larry Pinniger now battling with Mark Kinzer. Kinzer currently running 7th. Now looks at the 6th spot on the high side of turn 2. Got it. Takes over 6th. This time by 7 laps down. 3 to go. Todd Hepner, Kim Mock, Danny Lasowski, Dean Jacobs, Randy Anderson now around the high side of Dean Jacobs in turn 2, down the back chute. The next car back is Mark Kinzer. Mark Kinzer now moves around Dean Jacobs off turn 4. Jacobs works the bottom side of the racetrack. Can't keep the momentum that Mark Kinzer held on the cushion. Mark Kinzer takes the Mopar. Car number 5 them up on the high side of turn number 2. Down the back chute. Meanwhile, white flag waves for your leader as the race for 2nd heats up down the front chute. Danny Lasowski now moves into the number 2 position. Kim Mock back to 3rd. Randy Anderson running in your 4th and final transfer. This time by, checkered flags out for your winner, the 28H's Todd Hepner. Danny Lasowski running 2nd, Kim Mock 3rd, and your 4th and final transfer goes to the 02X of Randy Anderson.
Field now realigning in rows of 2 for the restart in the 2nd heat race. This time by, the green flag is in the air. Heat race number 2 is underway. Into turns 1 and 2, Darren Stewart down low, Tony Norm on the high side of the speedway. Racing for the lead down the backstretch, Stewart has it. Danny Smith making a move on the inside of the speedway, trying to gain positions into 3 and 4. As the race for the lead heats up, Norm on the high side of the speedway, Stewart down low, nearly even at the start-finish line. Norm with the momentum up on the top in 1 and 2, but again, Stewart, a nice drive off the bottom to hold on to the lead. Danny Smith is up into the 4th and final transfer spot. Greg Hodnett on the move in the Apple dealership's car number 12. Passes Lynn Jeffrey, car hard into the wall in turns 3 and 4. Tony Norm pacing the field off of turn number 4. Doug Clark waves the green flag and we are back underway. Half a second as Hannigan goes to the high side of Stewart to take over the 2nd spot. Greg Hodnett now down on the bottom in turns 3 and 4, moving up to 3rd. Darren Stewart in the final transfer spot right now. Lyndon Jeffrey running 5th. Danny Smith in 6th. Move out of turn number 4 by Jack Hodenshield. The wild child splitting Danny Smith and Lyndon Jeffrey to move up to 5th. Still needs to pass one more car to transfer to the A main this evening. Hodenshield down on the bottom, but Danny Smith up on the top side of the speedway. Smith closes right in on the back bumper of the Working American number 5. Greg Hodnett low out of turn number 2, passes Hannigan for the 2nd spot. Hodenshield now up to the high side. Stewart moves up to block him. Hodenshield crosses down low, puts the big slider on out of turn number 2. Stewart can't get any traction in the middle of the speedway, falls back to 5th. Hodenshield in a transfer spot. Danny Smith now to the high side of the speedway, moves around Darren Stewart for 5th. Norm increasing his lead to 2 seconds over Greg Hodnett. This time by 8 laps in the books, 2 laps remaining. Lead is 1.8 seconds. White flag flies. Final trip around the half mile here at the Knoxville Raceway. Second night of the Mopar Parts Knoxville Nationals, heat race number 2. Less than half a mile from the finish. Hodnett reeling in leader. Darren Stewart off the pace in turn number 1. Hodnett reeling in the leader, but running out of time. Tony Norum picks up the heat race win.
VermeerMotorsports.com, www.VermeerMotorsports.com, and you'll find all of the information on Don Drow Jr., the driver of the car number 55, getting set to go outside of row number 2. White line is where we start, and the green flag is out. Here we go. Brent Antill having a bit of trouble getting up to speed down the front chute, gathering it in down the back straightaway. Bridgewater, Australia is Jamie Moyle leading into turn number 3 now. Don Drow moves up into number 2 position. Hustling and hurrying off turn 4. Your field battling it out for position. Sammy Swindell all the way up into the number 6 position as they race into turn 2. Now to the inside of Randy Martin down the back chute side by side. Swindell for the 5th spot. Meanwhile, Larry Ball Jr. moves up into the 3rd spot around Carlson. Now Swindell down the front chute to 4th. Sammy Swindell on the move. The car number 83 JR moves to the bottom side in turn 2. Down the back chute, Swindell takes a look into turn 3. Uses the low groove to enter the turn. Works off the bottom side of the racetrack off turn 4. Makes his way down the front chute, reeling in Larry Ball Jr. Jamie Moyle, Don Drow Jr., Larry Ball Jr., Sammy Swindell, Kerry Madsen, now Johnny Herrera around Brian Carlson, Randy Martin, Jared Hall and Brent Antill rounding out your field. Nose to tail, your field works up on the high side of the racetrack, single file racing down the back straightaway. Sammy Swindell still trying to reel in Larry Ball Jr. for the number 3 position. Works off the bottom groove of the racetrack, working down the front chute within 2 car lengths. 1 car length, side by side. Slide job, oh, can't make it work. Falls back to 4th once again down the back chute. Larry Ball Jr. hanging tough in the 3rd spot. Works the low groove, entering 3 slides to the cushion in turn 4. Here comes Sammy Swindell, putting the whip to it down the front straightaway. Slide job, oh, Don Drow Jr. off the pedal in turn 2. Now, Larry Ball Jr. spinning in the turn. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Jamie Moyle bringing them around turns 3 and 4 to the cone here on the front straightaway. Green flag. Sammy Swindell tried to make the move on Jamie Moyle, but Moyle running away down the back chute. Swindell running in 2nd. Kerry Madsen up on the high side of the racetrack takes a look at Swindell off turn 4. Johnny Herrera still running 4th. Brent Antill 5th. Jared Hall. Oh, Kerry Madsen slide job nearly got into Swindell in turn number 2. Still holding onto the 3rd spot. Kerry Madsen goes back to the cushion in turn 4. Johnny Herrera trying to reel in your leaders down the front chute. He'll ride in the 4th spot. Antill, Hall, Ball Jr., Carlson, and Martin. Jamie Moyle still leading the field as Sammy Swindell tries to make the move once again. White flag's out, 1 to go. Jamie Moyle down the back straightaway for the final time. Checkered flag will wave this time by. Swindell still running 2nd. Off turn 4, put your hands together, your winner, Jamie Moyle. Your battle with final transfer, look out.
Getting set for green in heat race number 4. Tim Monson and Peter Murphy pacing the field into turn number 4. Doug Clark waves the green flag. We go racing. Monson down low, Murphy up on the high side of the speedway. Monson drifts to the high side, Murphy right on his back bumper. Jason Myers goes by both of them. Hot foot out to the lead down the back stretch into 3 and 4. Jason Myers now out front in the crowd.